In the book, The Greatest Miracle of the World, the author, Og Mandino, wrote a God memorandum. And when I read that memorandum, after I got through a big part of the book, the memorandum came up, and it exposed me to this God that I was afraid of. And he was the God of love and forgiveness, you know. And I read it, and I read it, and I read it over and over again. You know, in the book, you're supposed to read it 100 days in a row, and I did that. But over the years, I kept on reading it, and at one point, I was asked to tell my story at St. Charles Youth Corrections Facility to the young bucks over there. And, you know, I had been doing 12-step meetings over there, and I just wanted to give them something positive, you know. It's all about dress right, dress over there. Shut up, sit down, do this, do that, you know, and these kids, you know, they need some love, you know. And so I said, I want to give them something positive. And so I memorized this little memorandum. And it goes something like this. Take counsel. I hear your cry. It passes through the darkness, filters through the clouds, mingles with starlight, and finds its way to my heart on the path of a sunbeam. I have anguished over the cry of a hare, choked in the noose of a snare. A sparrow tumbled from the nest of its mother, a child thrashing helplessly in a pond, and a son shedding his blood on a cross. Know that I hear you also. Be at peace. Be calm. I bring thee relief from your sorrow, for I know its cause and its cure. You weep for all your childhood dreams that have vanished with the years. You weep for all your self-esteem that has been corrupted through failure. You weep for all your potential that has been bartered for security. You weep for all your individuality that has been trampled by mobs. You weep for all your talent that has been wasted through misuse. You look upon yourself with disgrace and turn in terror from the image you see in the pool. Who is this mockery of humanity staring back at you with bloodless eyes of shame? Where is the grace of your manner, the beauty of your figure, the quickness of your movement, the clarity of your mind, and the brilliance of your tongue? Who stole your goods? Is the thief's identity known to you as it is to me? Once you placed your head in a pillow of grass in your father's field and looked up at a cathedral of clouds and knew that all the gold of Babylon would be yours in time. Once you read from many books and wrote on many tablets, convinced beyond any doubt that all the wisdom of Solomon would be equaled and surpassed by you. And the seasons would flow into years until, lo, you would reign supreme in your own Garden of Eden. Dost thou remember who implanted those plans and dreams and seeds of hope within you? You do not. You have no memory of that moment when first you emerged from your mother's womb and I placed my hand upon your soft brow. And the secret I whispered into your small ear when I bestowed my blessings upon you. Remember our secret? You cannot. The passing years destroyed your recollection and filled your mind with fear and doubt, anxiety, remorse, and hate. And there is no room for joyful memories where these beasts habitate. Weep no more, I am with you. This moment is the dividing line of your life. All that has gone before is like unto no more than that time when you slept within your mother's womb. What is past is dead. Let the dead bury the dead. This day you shall return from the living dead. This day, like unto Elijah with the widow's son, I stretch myself upon you 3 times and you live again. This day, like unto Elisha with the Shunammite son, I place my mouth upon your mouth, and my eyes upon your eyes, my hands upon your hands, and your flesh becomes warm again. This day, like unto Jesus at the tomb of Lazarus, I command you to come forth, and you will walk from your cave of doom to begin your new life. This is your birthday. This is your new date of birth. Your first life, like unto a play at the theater, was only a rehearsal. This time the curtain is up. This time the world watches and waits to applaud. This time you will not fail. Like a butterfly from its chrysalis you will fly. Fly as high as you wish, and neither the wasps, nor the dragonflies, nor the mantids of mankind will obstruct your mission or your search for the true riches of life. Feel my hand upon your head. Attend to my wisdom, and let me share with you again the secret you had heard at your birth and forgot. You are my greatest miracle. You are the greatest miracle in the world. Those were the first words you had ever heard, and then you cried. They all cry. You did not believe me then, and nothing has happened in the intervening years to cause you to correct that disbelief. For how could you be a miracle when you consider yourself a failure at the most menial of tasks? How could you be a miracle when you tremble in confidence when dealing with the most trivial of responsibilities? How could you be a miracle when you are shackled by debt and lie awake in torment over whence will come tomorrow's bread? Enough. The milk that is spilled is sour. Yet how many prophets, how many wise men, how many poets, how many artists, how many composers, how many scientists, how many philosophers and messengers have I sent with word of your divinity, your potential for godliness and the secrets to achievement, and how did you treat them? Still I love you, and I'm with you now through these words to fulfill the prophet who announced that the Lord would set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people. I have set my hand again. This is the second time. You are my remnant. It is of no avail to ask, haven't you known? Haven't you heard? Haven't you been told from the beginning? Haven't you understood from the foundations of the earth? You have not known, you have not heard, you have not understood. You were told you were a divinity in disguise, a God playing a fool. You were told you were a special piece of work, noble in reason, infinite in faculties, express and admirable in form, and moving like an angel in action, like a God in apprehension. You were told you were the salt of the earth. You were even given the secret to move mountains, yet you believed no one. You burned your roadmap to happiness. You abandoned your claim to peace of mind, and you snuffed out the candles that had been placed along your destined path of glory. And then you stumbled, lost and frightened, into the darkness and futility of self-pity until you fell into a hell of your own creation. Then you cried and beat your breast and cursed the luck that had befallen you. You refused to accept the consequences of your own petty thoughts and lazy deeds, and you searched for a scapegoat on which to blame your failures. How quickly you found one. You blamed me. You said that your handicaps, your mediocrities, your lack of opportunities, and your failures were the will of God. You were wrong. Let us take inventory. Let us first take roll of your handicaps, for how can I ask you to build a new life lest you have the tools? Are you blind? Does the sun rise and fall without your witness? No, you can see. And the 100 million receptors I have placed in your eyes enable you to enjoy the magic of a leaf, a snowflake, a pond, an eagle, a child, a cloud, a star, a rose, a rainbow, and a look of love. Count one blessing. Are you deaf? Can a baby laugh or cry without your attention? No, you can hear. And the 24,000 fibers I have built into each of your ears vibrate to the wind in the trees, the tides on the rocks, the majesty of an opera, a robin's plea, children at play, and the words, I love you. Count another blessing. Are you mute? Do your lips move and bring forth only spittle? No, you can speak, as can no other of my creatures. And your words can calm the angry, uplift the despondent, goad the quitter, cheer the unhappy, encourage the defeated, warm the lonely, praise the worthy, teach the ignorant, and say the words, I love you. Count another blessing. Are you paralyzed? Does your helpless form despoil the land? No, you can move. For within you I have designed 500 muscles, 206 bones, and 7 miles of nerve fiber, all synchronized by me to do your bidding. Count another blessing. Are you unloved or unloving? Does loneliness engulf you night and day? No, no more, for now you know love's secret. To receive love, it must be given without any thought of its return. To love for fulfillment, satisfaction, or pride is no love. Love is a gift on which no return is demanded. And even should love not be returned, it is not lost, for unreciprocated love will flow back to you and soften and purify your heart. Count another blessing. Count twice. Is your heart stricken? Does it leak and strain to maintain your life? No, it is strong. Touch your chest. Feel its rhythm pulsating hour after hour, night and day. 36 million beats each year, year after year, asleep or awake, pumping through more than 60,000 miles of veins, arteries, and tubing, pumping more than 600,000 gallons a year. Man has never created such a machine. Count another blessing. Are you diseased of skin? Do people turn in horror when you approach? No, your skin is clear and a marvel of creation, needing only that you tend to it with soap and oil and brush and care. In time, all steels will tarnish and rust, but not your skin. Eventually, even the hardest of metals will wear with use, but not that layer I've constructed around you. Constantly, it renews itself. Old cells replaced by the new, just as the old you is now replaced by the new. Count another blessing. Are your lungs befouled? Does the breath of life struggle to enter your body? No, your portholes to life support you even in the vilest of environments of your own making. They labor always to filter life-giving oxygen through 600 million pockets of folded flesh to rid your body of gaseous waste. Count another blessing. Is your blood poisoned? Is it diluted with water and pus? No, within your 5 quarts of blood there are 22 trillion blood cells. Within each cell there are millions of molecules, and within each molecule there's an atom oscillating at more than 10 million times each second. Each second, 2 million blood cells die, only to be replaced by 2 million more in a resurrection that has continued to occur since the day of your first birth. As it has always been on the inside, so now it is on the outside. Count another blessing. Are you feeble of mind? Can you no longer think for yourself? No, your brain is the most complex structure in the universe. I know. Within its 3 pounds are over 18 billion nerve cells, more than 3 times as many cells as there are people on your earth, to help file away every perception, every sound, every smell, every taste, every action that has occurred since the day of your birth. I have implanted within those cells 1,000 billion protein molecules. Every incident is there awaiting only your recall. And to assist your brain in the control of your body, I have dispersed throughout your form 4 million pain-sensitive structures, 500,000 touch detectors, and over 200,000 temperature detectors. No nation's gold is better protected than you. None of your ancient treasures are greater than you. You are my finest creation. Within you there is enough atomic energy to destroy any of the world's great cities and rebuild it. Are you poor? Is there no gold or silver in your purse? No, you are rich. Together we just counted your wealth. Study the list. Tally your assets. Why have you betrayed yourself? Why have you cried that all the blessings of mankind have been removed from you? Why have you deceived yourself to believe you are powerless to change your life? Are you without talent, senses, abilities, instincts, pleasures, sensations, and pride? Are you without hope? Why do you cringe in the shadows, a giant defeated, awaiting only sympathetic transport into the welcome void and dampness of hell? You have so much. Your blessings overflow your cup, and you have been unmindful of them like a child spoiled in luxury since I have bestowed them upon you with generosity and regularity. Answer me. Answer yourself. What rich man, old and sick, feeble and helpless, would not exchange all the gold in his vault for the blessings you have treated so lightly? Know then that you already possess all the blessings necessary to achieve great glory. They are your treasure, your tools with which to build, starting today, the foundation for a new and better life. And be grateful for your lessons learned in poverty, for he is not poor who has little, only he who desires much. And true security lies not in how much one has, but how much one can live without. Where are the handicaps that produced your failures? They existed only in your mind. Count your blessings. And the second law is like unto the first. Proclaim your rarity. You had condemned yourself to a potter's field, and there you lay unable to forgive your own failures, destroying yourself with self-hatred, self-incrimination, and revulsion at your crimes against yourself and others. Are you not perplexed? Do you not wonder why I am able to forgive your failures, your transgressions, and your pitiful demeanor when you cannot forgive yourself? I address you now for 3 reasons. You need me. You are not one of a herd headed for destruction in a gray mass of mediocrity, and you are a great rarity. Consider a painting by Rembrandt, a bronze by Degas, a violin by Stradivarius, or a play by Shakespeare. These have great value for 2 reasons. Their creators were masters, and they are few in number. On this reasoning, you are the most valuable treasure on the face of the earth, for you know who created you, and there is only one of you. Never in all the 70 billion humans who ever walked the face of this planet since the beginning of time has there ever been another exactly like you. Never until the end of time will there be another such as you. You have shown no knowledge or appreciation of your uniqueness, yet you are the rarest thing in the world. From your Father, in his moment of supreme love, flowed countless seeds, over 400 million in number. All of them, as they swam within your mother, gave up the ghost and died, all except one, you. You alone persevered in the loving warmth of your mother's body, searching for your other half. A single cell from your mother, so small that it would take nearly 2 million to fill an acorn shell. And yet, despite these impossible odds and this vast ocean of darkness and disaster, you persevered, found that infinitesimal cell, joined with it, began a life, your life, bringing with you upon your arrival, as does every child, the message that I was not yet discouraged of man. 2 cells now united in a miracle. 2 cells, each containing 23 chromosomes. Within each chromosome, there are hundreds of genes that will govern every characteristic about you, from the color of your eyes to the charm of your manner to the size of your brain. with all these, yeah, with all these things, that's okay. Yeah, with all these combinations at my command, I could have created 300,000 billion humans, each one different from the other. But who did I bring forth? You, one of a kind, the rarest of rare, a priceless treasure possessed in qualities of mind, speech, appearance, movement, and action as has no other who has ever lived, lives, or shall live. Why did you value yourself in pennies when you are worth a king's ransom? Why did you listen when people demeaned you, and worse yet, why did you believe them? Take counsel, no longer hide your rarity in the dark, bring it forth. Strive not to walk as your brother walks, nor talk as your leader talks, nor labor as do the mediocre. Never imitate, for how do you know that you do not imitate evil? And he who imitates evil always exceeds the example set, while he who imitates good always falls short. Be yourself, proclaim your rarity to the world, and they will shower you with gold. Now we have 2 laws. Count your blessings and proclaim your rarity. There are 2 other laws. The next one is go the extra mile. And then the final law is use wisely your power of choice. I won't get into those right now, but it's awesome. And I'll take a drink. But in the end, at that memorandum, it goes on to say, let us recall the 4 laws of happiness and success. Count your blessings, proclaim your rarity, use wisely your power of choice, and do all things in love. And God then says, and now I give you 1 more law. In order to fulfill the other 4, do all things in love. Love for yourself, love for all others, and love for me. And then he goes on to say, wipe away your tears. Grasp my hand and stand straight, and let me cut the grave cloths that have bound you. Today you have been notified you are the greatest miracle in the world. And that was that little memorandum that turned my world around, you know, because I wasn't afraid of God anymore. I wanted to get to know this guy, you know. And I've been trying for the last 30 years to get to know him.